Jaguar Wright just said something that could end two marriages at the same time. She claims Beyoncé and her longtime bodyguard have a tape. Now, for years, you probably laughed off every joke about Beyoncé and Julius being closer than a boss and her security. Well, Jaguar Wright is telling you that joke might be true, and she says she has more than just talk to back it up. This is not just another affair story, because this time, people have receipts. And once you hear everything Jaguar Wright is claiming, you will understand why fans cannot stop talking about this one.
Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves.
Before we get into the tape claim, you need to know two names, because they are going to come up again and again. Don't worry, I will keep it short. This guy has worked as Beyoncé's personal bodyguard since 2008. That is more than 15 years by her side, through world tours, award shows, and every major moment of her career. He even runs his own security company now, which means staying this close to her is his choice, not just a job he is stuck with. That single fact is a big part of why people keep asking questions. And Beyoncé and Jay-Z have always been sold to us as the perfect power couple, two of the biggest names in Hollywood. That image is exactly why any little crack in it feels like such a big deal. When you build a brand on being flawless, even one loose thread can make people start pulling. So let's start with something that has been sitting in plain sight for years. Fans have joked about Beyoncé and Julius for a long time. It is not new, but some of the clips fans point to are hard to just laugh off once you actually see them. There is a moment where a crowd starts chanting Julius's name, and Beyoncé visibly blushes on stage in front of thousands of people.
Oh my God! Oh my God. Julius! Wow.
There are other clips fans use as proof the two of them are closer than a normal work relationship, moments that feel a little too comfortable, a little too familiar.
Julius is hiding in the corner.
Move, Julius.
Gaga, are you a fan? Are you amazed at how much of an impact she's made?
Excuse me.
Yo, Julius, excuse me. Sorry, fella.
Then there is a photo of Julius holding Blue Ivy. Fans say he looks like her father in that picture, not like hired security standing off to the side. One fan online put it simply. They said Julius could have stopped being a bodyguard years ago, since he now runs his own company. So if he is still standing this close to her, it is because he wants to be, not because he has to be. None of this started this year either. Fans have been noticing these little moments for over a decade, quietly saving clips and comparing notes long before Jaguar Wright ever said a word about a tape. That is part of why this claim spread so fast the moment she brought it up. Now here is where things get interesting. Beyoncé has a track called Bodyguard. Once fans heard it, a lot of them connected it straight to Julius without her ever saying a name. The whole song has this feeling of being safe, protected, and hiding something from the world at the same time. It is soft, it is personal, and fans say it sounds like it was written about someone very specific rather than just a general idea. So ask yourself, was this just a slip of the mask? Or does she feel so untouchable that she can hint at the truth in her own music and still get away with it in front of millions of listeners? Some fans even started lining up the release date of the song with the timeline of the rumors, trying to figure out if she was sending a message on purpose or just writing what felt true to her in the moment. This is not just a modern rumor either. Go back to 2014. A source close to Beyoncé said Jay-Z actually tried to fire Julius after catching the two of them getting too close for his comfort. Beyoncé said no. Julius stayed on her team, and he has been there ever since. That one decision only made people believe the rumors even more. Because if there was truly nothing going on, why fight so hard to keep him around instead of just letting him go quietly? Think about how that looks from the outside. Most husbands would not push back twice on something this small if it truly meant nothing. The fact that Beyoncé held her ground says a lot about how much Julius actually means to her, whatever the real reason turns out to be. Here's the question you have probably been asking yourself already. If this has really been going on for years, why has no tape ever leaked to the public yet in the age of camera phones and constant surveillance? This is where Jaguar Wright's claim gets a lot bigger. She connects this whole story to Diddy and the way tapes have reportedly been used as leverage inside the music industry for years, kept hidden until they are useful to someone.
20, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billion.
Think about it this way. A tape like this would not just embarrass someone. It could control them, quietly, for years, without anyone on the outside ever knowing why certain people always seem to protect each other. That is a very different kind of danger than plain gossip, and once you look at it that way, this whole story changes shape. It also explains why so many big names in this industry seem to protect each other in public, even when they clearly do not like one another behind the scenes. Nobody wants to be the first one to talk, if talking means someone else starts talking back. If the marriage image really has been managed carefully, it makes you wonder what else might have been managed too, going all the way back to the beginning. Go back to 2011. During a live interview, fans noticed Beyoncé's stomach appeared to move in a strange way while she was supposedly pregnant, almost like it folded in on itself for a second.
Beyoncé faked her pregnancy. Blue Ivy was actually born from someone else, and she's supposed to be like the leader of the Illuminati. So, what? Beyoncé, when she was pregnant, she went on to Wendy Williams' show. Walks up to the couch. Yeah. Watch how oh, her belly? A fake belly bump. Look how it squishes it.
On its own, that clip is just strange. The kind of thing you could brush off as a bad camera angle. But next to everything else in this story, it starts to feel like one more piece of a much bigger picture. One where very little about this marriage has ever been left to chance. Once fans start doubting one piece of the story, they tend to go back and question everything else too, from old interviews to old photos, looking for the next crack in the picture. And here's something else worth knowing. This would not even be the first time Beyoncé's name has been linked to rumors like this one. Back in 2003, fans speculated about a connection between her and Sean Paul after their huge hit song together topped the charts for weeks. Their planned performances kept mysteriously falling apart soon after, which only fed the rumors further. Sean Paul himself later said their connection was real, even if nothing more ever came of it publicly, and he seemed a little hurt about how things ended between them. Then, in 2005, there was a moment with Terrence Howard during a live performance that fans still bring up today as another example of this same pattern repeating itself over the years. None of these old stories prove anything on their own, but put them all in a row, and you start to see a woman who has been linked to close, intense connections outside her marriage more than once, long before Julius ever came into the picture. All of this feeds into a bigger theory floating around online. Some insiders believe the marriage itself was built to create a music power couple brand, more of a business move than a love story from the very beginning. The idea is simple. Jay-Z needed a successful woman by his side to grow his own image, and Beyoncé needed a powerful man beside her to open doors she could not open alone. Put together, they became bigger than either of them could have been apart. There is even a moment fans point to as proof of the performance. Beyoncé showed up at Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt anniversary concert, and some fans thought it looked less like a natural appearance and more like a planned show of unity for the cameras. People close to them have also pointed out that the two of them are rarely seen together outside of moments like this one, which only adds fuel to the idea that most of their public togetherness is planned rather than spontaneous. Now pay attention to this next part, because the timing here is not exactly innocent when you line it all up. In a short window, Beyoncé has put out a full tour, a movie, a hair care line, and a brand new album. That is a lot of output in a very short amount of time, even for someone as busy and driven as she is. YouTube blogger Storm Monroe has claimed this pace is not a coincidence. The idea is that she is cashing in as much as possible right now, before a much bigger story about Jay-Z comes out and changes the way people see both of them for good. It is worth noting that another tour is reportedly already being planned, which would only add to this same pattern. When someone rushes to release everything at once, it is worth asking what they might already know that we do not. And now we get to the heaviest part of this whole story, so stay with me for this last piece. There was an ex-bodyguard connected to the Carter and Kanye West circle, someone who had worked closely with all of them for years. Not long after stories like this one started spreading, he reportedly died. Let that sit for a second. Whatever you believe about the rest of this story, that timing alone is enough to make anyone pause and wonder if it was really just a coincidence.
And Piers Morgan said it, they're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this, about what's going on?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything, just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many up people does he have to be around before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me, I'm trying to move beyond Diddy, I'm love now.
What kind of love? Baby oil love, baby love, explicit love, hey!
Jaguar Wright has said before that if she ever chose to say everything she knows, it would not just touch this story. It would reach back into older names, older scandals, and older silence that has lasted for years. That alone should tell you this is likely not the last time her name comes up in a story like this one. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think this is a real affair that Jaguar Wright just exposed? Or do you think this is just years of rumors finally stacking up on top of each other until they feel true?